Good day, everybody, and welcome to another edition of the Military and Foreign Affairs Network. I am your host, the voice of reason. In this episode, we're going to continue our coverage of the ongoing civil war taking place inside of the former state of Ethiopia, and we're also going to have a look. We're not going to have a look, really, so to speak, of the No More movement, but more of dispelling some of the false narratives or the premier false narrative that is coming from that movement, which really kind of it really seeks to onboard the low information person, the person who is more interested in what Kim Kardashian is doing, and it kind of seeks to mainstream some external events outside of the United States and bring a false narrative to kind of that low information person inside of the United States who will simply see something, hear something, take it for what it is as the truth, which it is not, and then run with it because it is a movement and it's something that the low information person can be part of. So if we look at the No More movement, basically what it is a movement designed by both the Ethiopian National Intelligence Service and the Eritrean National Intelligence Service to garner support in the United States and elsewhere for its ongoing war against the Tigray region. So first, let's try and dispel the biggest myth, the biggest farce, the biggest false narrative about the conflict itself and the fact that the Tigray region started the war. So firstly, if you accept the fact that Tigray started the war, then you accept the fact that a very small region right here of 6 million people decided to go to war against two of the largest militaries on the continent of Africa, and that is Eritrea and Ethiopia. So again, a very small region decided to attack both one of the largest militaries in Africa, meaning the Eritrean army with 200,000 people, 200,000 personnel, and then the Ethiopian military with 160 plus thousand personnel, probably bolstered to more than 300,000 personnel after you account for regional militias and reservists at the start of the conflict. So again, very small region has decided to go up against nearly 100 million other persons living within the vicinity of the Tigray region. So you would have to be quite literally insane to launch that kind of operation. The next, again, is the whole idea that the Tigrayan Defense Forces, the Tigray Regional Special Forces units, launched an attack against the Ethiopian army, and it did. And it did so under the guise of preemption, okay? Because the Ethiopian and Eritrean militaries were preparing, and they've been preparing for the better part of a year to invade the Tigray region. At a certain point, the Tigrayan Defense Forces, what is now known as the Tigrayan Defense Forces, saw that it was at a point of no return, and it had to act. So on November 3rd, the Tigrayan Defense Forces launched an operation to seize control of the Northern Command in Mekelle. The next day, November 4th, the forces of the Abiy regime then announced a quote-unquote law enforcement operation in which it then invaded the Tigray region the next day. If you know anything about military operations, it would have taken the Ethiopian military at least about 6 months to prepare for a large-scale operation into the Tigray region, which would have meant that once the Tigray Defense Forces launched its preemptive strike on November 3rd, we're probably not looking until April of 2021, until the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, the Abiy loyalists, could have then launched its operation into the Tigray region. But the reason it was able to launch or start its operation November 4th, 5th, 6th, and then henceforth was because it had prepared for this invasion over the course of the entire last year. So again, the concept that, again, the Tigray region launched this operation, launched an invasion against two of the most powerful military forces in the sub-Saharan African continent is simply insane. And then you have to look at the relationship. So if you support democracy, if you support being able to go to a poll and vote how you feel and who you want as an elected official, then you have to look at the current paradigm, the current situation between Eritrea and Ethiopia. So again, the leaders of the former state of Ethiopia, the Abiy loyalists, have pushed away from Western democracies and have embraced Eritrea, which, do your own research, look up Eritrea, look who has ruled Eritrea for the last 30 plus years. There's never been any democratic elections in Eritrea. It is ruled by a strongman by the name of Isaias Afwerki, brutal tyrant that operates a government much like North Korea. And again, that is who Abiy Ahmed has embraced as his closest ally. Abiy Ahmed has met more with Isaias Afwerki than he has met with any other leader on the planet. So again, just trying to dispel this whole no more movement that is going on. If you support no more, you probably are now working for Eritrean intelligence service and the Abiy loyalist intelligence service. That is who is sponsoring no more, the no more movement. So again, don't get caught up in a rush of the false narrative, because that is what the no more movement is. If you remove anything and everything out of the no more movement, and you just want to look at one thing, look at Isaias Afwerki, and then also look at the military activity that took place right around November. It would have been impossible, again, impossible for the Ethiopian National Defense Forces to respond that quickly, and both Eritrea and Ethiopia launched that invasion into the Tigray region. It would have taken a lot longer, a lot more preparatory work, and then we would have seen this quote-unquote law enforcement operation probably in April or May of 2021, if in fact the Tigray region just had decided to launch this attack against Ethiopia and separate itself. But that is not what happened. Any military person on the planet can tell you that, again, the preemptive operation that the TDF took on November 3rd, and then what happened within days after that, is impossible unless the intent by the Ethiopian National Defense Forces, the Prosperity Party, and Abiy Ahmed was to, in fact, invade the Tigray region. And again, once the Tigray region saw this and knew that an invasion was imminent and was going to happen, it had to respond. Just think of if a very large person was getting ready to come up to you and punch you in the face, you would have to do something. You would not just stand there and allow a person who's 100 pounds bigger than you just tee off and hit you in the head. You would duck, you would do something to defend yourself. And that's exactly what happened. So again, don't buy into this no more movement. They're going after the low information person who is more interested in popular culture, the quote unquote Kardashian movement, and that's what's happening. So again, do your own research. Look up and do some research on Isaiah Afwerki. Look at the relationship between Isaiah Afwerki and Abiy Ahmed, and you'll probably learn something, and you probably then will decide for yourself, hey, this no more is a farce. I'm working for an intelligence agency of a dictator. Have a good day, everybody.